What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. I'm your host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, and along with co-host, Dr. Chris Demczar.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Yes, and we are here to not only help you lose weight, feel great, get your energy back, but we talk about, pounds are shed, disease is dead. It's really about being set free. And that's the thing. The freedom that comes from not being bogged down through medications or, I don't know, I was watching a TV show. I rarely watch TV, but I was on vacation, so we're in the hotel room, and my kids are like, can we watch something? And it's like TV. Well, anyway, there was this commercial that came up, and it was about this guy whose dog was so overweight he couldn't fit through the dog door, and he was on his phone searching. Have you seen this one?
I haven't.
Searching for what to do, and it was doing great. He was looking up a dog diet, but here's the thing: it was a credit card company commercial. And he only got 2% cash back for food, but he got 4% cash back for home improvements at Lowe's. So he said, I'm just going to buy a bigger dog door. He turned down the diet for his dog. So look, that's not freedom, guys.
Right.
That's the restrictiveness. That's this idea that we let life control us instead of us controlling life.
Yes.
So we are on a hot topic this week, this month. Did you know the number one most prescribed drug in the United States is no longer Crestor for cholesterol?
Right.
So heart disease, right? We're all freaking out. Oh my gosh. Clogged arteries, stents, rotor-rooters. I mean, all it is people are going, I got the Widowmaker's disease. I've got 70, 80, 90% blockage. Number one most prescribed drug now is Synthroid and levothyroxine. And if that doesn't make you nervous, it should.
No.
Because here's what it means, guys. A lot of us are tired, overweight, fatigued. Our skin is getting disgusting looking, like
Dry,
ashy, dry,
brittle,
oily.
Yep.
And we're losing our hair, we're losing our minds, and we go to our doctors and we tell them these symptoms. I'm tired, can't seem to lose weight.
Hot or cold, can't regulate body temperature.
I forget who I am. I'm brushing my hair and it's lots of hair. And here's the doctor. Let's run a thyroid test. And here's the crazy thing. We're going to talk about this today. They're not running a real thyroid test, but it comes back TSH is, off balance, high, T4 is low. So what do? They go, oh, we know why you feel the way you feel, and we have this prescription for you. Number one in the U.S. This is ridiculous.
No. How did it get so out of hand?
Well, it's because people are letting their symptoms drive their life. Here's the analogy.
Yep.
The dog is fat, symptom, and the owner's like, well, I only get 2% cash back if I get you a new diet, but I get 4% if I buy a new dog door. So we let our life control us.
Yep. I just want to add to that really quick. So I recently got sucked into this app, and I won't mention the name of the app, but it's one where you scan receipts.
Yep.
And so you have to get, so many thousands of points before you can redeem those points for, like a gift card or some voucher or something. Now, there's all these, special brands that you can get extra points for. So instead of getting like 25 points every time you scan a receipt, you might get hundreds or even thousands depending on the brand. Guess what all the brands are, guys? Brands of extremely unhealthy, toxic products that contain certain things
Pepsi,
that we're going to talk about
Whoops,
today.
we're not even supposed to mention those names. Sorry.
But hey,
they're not endorsing our show.
That's right. Just what Dr. Ernst is talking about. Letting letting life control you instead of you controlling your life.
Well, how about this? And there's no shame, but how many hours and how many receipts would it take for you to get the, what was it, $50 gift card?
I think I calculated it, and it came down to, in order to get the $50 gift card, you got to scan. Each scan of a receipt you did gave you 4 cents equivalent to get to that $50.
So how many scans do we need then?
Gosh, that would be
100,000.
25 cents a dollar, and then to get to the $50, or 25 scans for the dollar, and then to get to 50, it'd be 25 times 50, which is the 1,250.
Okay, so we're at like let's just say it's 1,300 scans. How long do you think it's going to take you to scan 1,300 receipts?
Oh my gosh!
Just give me an estimate.
Even if I just had those receipts, it would take me a couple of days, but it's probably going to take me a year, at least, if not a year and a half. I know there's other people they say they've done it faster, but I think.
But so even if they did it even if they did it in 2 weeks, maybe they spent 6 hours. How much money can you make in 6 hours doing your job?
That's right.
Rather than scanning receipts?
A 4-cent receipt.
So again, notice what we do. Oh, free money. Yep. I'll spend the next 6 hours scanning receipts. Oh, my dog is fat. I get more rewards buying a new door. Oh, I feel terrible. It's easy to go to the doctor, complain, and have them go, well, we have a solution for this. It's this medication. And then leave and think, woo, I guess I'm better. Now, I don't know if you know this. Maybe you're taking Synthroid, levothyroxine, Armothroid, Nature-Throid. You can tell we work with a lot of people with that. Man, that just rolled right off. All of them say this. Yeah, but I still feel like crap. I still feel tired. I took the pill. I didn't lose 40 pounds. I took the pill. I don't even remember who I am. My skin is still ashy. My hair's still falling out. So listen up. We have a great show for you today. We're talking about the unconventional causes, not genetics, not your diet, not your mom's dog. Nope. We're talking about the major 4 chemicals that are causing the thyroid reaction that's making yourself so tired and fatigued and forgetful.
Yep. And guys, once you hear about this, it's gonna be no surprise to you that you're like, oh wow, of course that there's this epidemic where thyroid medications are the #1 prescribed medication right now. There's of course, once you hear this, you're like, wow, these are the everyday products that I'm using.
And let me show you why. If you have cause #1, what's the medical solution? Here's a medication. If you have cause #2, medical solution, medication. Cause #3, #4. Now watch this. Even if you have been diagnosed with the autoimmune, like the #1 cause, guys, the autoimmune Hashimoto's, where there's antibodies destroying thyroid function. Guess what the solution is?
Right. Still just
it's the same thing. So look, you could have Graves'. They're not going to give you the medication for that because you're already hyperactive. No. They're going to burn it and cut it out. You could have hypothyroid. You could have toxin-induced. You could have microbiome-induced. You could have neurological-induced. You could have heavy metal-induced, household toxin-induced, industrial chemical-induced, agricultural chemical-induced, yet the treatment is
still the same.
So no wonder they're going up like crazy.
Yep.
So we let the cat out of the bag early, but listen, we have a special gift for each of you. We wrote a thyroid ebook about, the beginning of this year, and we've upgraded it and updated it to have all the information you need. I mean, now we're like at 22 pages, guys. It was like 9 or 10 before.
Right.
We've put everything in there, and it's free. But here's the thing, just like every show we do, what's the phrase? If you don't take action, you don't get results. If you listen, but you don't apply, you don't get results. But I think in the Bible, they say faith without works is death.
Yep.
So you can be sitting there going, please, Lord, fix my thyroid. There's the faith. But if you just wait, the wrong kind of waiting, if you just sit and do nothing, then you get nothing. Now watch this. My pastor did a great message a couple weeks ago. There's a difference between wait and waiting. Ing implies action.
Yep.
And a waiter who waits on a table is doing what? He's serving
them.
Bringing things to people, doing stuff for others. Now watch this. How do you wait on yourself? Do we sit on a sofa and just go, when's my thyroid going to get fixed? Right. No, you stand up, you pick up the phone, and you serve yourself. 704-906-2094. Pick it up. Pick the tray up. Pick the phone up. And do this. 704-906-2094. If you're going to text, it's your name and your email. And what are we doing? Well, 2 things. We're giving you the free ebook. And when I say free, like there's no strings attached whatsoever. It's yours, and you can do whatever you want with it. But again, don't just get a book that tells you how to solve your life issues and then just file it away now in your online filing storage system and just forget about it. Action, guys, action. That's why we've tagged each of you to the up-and-coming thyroid webinar. This is where I'm going to take you through everything step by step. The labs that your doctors aren't doing, the tests you need to do. Watch this, how some of our patients have gotten completely off their meds and dropped their antibodies in as little as 90 days, some in just 6 months. And many thyroid patients are like, well, I've been taking it for 30 years. 6 months, how can that be done? Because we don't treat symptoms. We help you to become your own doctor so you can heal yourself. If you want the ebook and you want to join the webinar, 704-906-2094. Look, the webinar is on the 18th. We're a couple weeks out. The ebook is really what you need.
Yeah.
It has everything. 704-906-2094. Call or text. Really just text, right? It's easy. Name and email. But you can call the call center. They're lovely people. But they're going to ask you the same thing. Name and email, please. So do it right now. Okay, so Dr. Chris, I have always been told that a thyroid issue is because you inherited it. Like it's genetic, right?
Yeah.
So you have this bad gene, and that's why your thyroid is shut down. And that's why things aren't going very well for your life. So can you explain the real issue isn't genes, it's what's being done to your body
That's right.
by the exposures we have, right?
So for all the listeners, you guys have to get the accumulation concept in life, right? Life is an accumulation of stress. And so Dr. Ernst already mentioned it, the 4 major players when it comes to what are the things that are causing thyroid disease in your body, right? So when you have an accumulation of these 4 things specifically, the research shows that you are way more likely, if your body can't handle and detoxify from these, to develop some sort of thyroid disorder.
Yeah, so what he's going to say is these 4 create a dysfunctional thyroid,
Right.
but your doctors never test for them.
No.
So an MD who's looking to see what's going on with your thyroid will do the gold standard T4, thyroid stimulation hormone, and T4. If TSH is high and T4 is low, bam, you're put on a thyroid medication. But they never tell you the cause. So big one here. This is huge. Like, this is so big. We're going to spend some time on this, but we got to go do these 4 in this hour.
Yep.
Woo!
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Okay, first one, guys, the heavy metals. And heavy metals are all around you. You're using them in so many products, you don't even realize it. So there's a couple big ones that we want to go through. And here's 4 big heavy metals. Write these down, and I want you to go into your kitchen, into your bathroom, into your cleaning cabinet, and I want you to look at the ingredients in those and see, are there these metals in those ingredients in any way, shape, or form? It's going to take some work on your part. Like Dr. Ernst said, it's so important. You've got to take action.
Even more so because, listen, only one of them is really technically ever listed. The other 3, they don't have to be listed in the ingredients. So we're going to tell you where they come from, how to find them.
That's right.
But there is one that you're using every day that can wreck your thyroid.
Yep, so here we go. Aluminum, cadmium, lead, and mercury. I'll say that again. Aluminum, cadmium, lead, and mercury. And the
What
one
do we
I
have here? We have an acronym, right? ACLM. It's kind of like clam, just backwards, right? We could move them around.
You could.
CLAM.
Actually make
Let's
it
do that.
more.
CLAM. Cadmium, aluminum, lead, and mercury.
Yep, love it. Okay, and so the one that Dr. Ernst is telling you guys is
I did that
used
backwards. I did
every
calm,
day.
didn't I? I totally messed
You
it
did
up.
calm. Hey,
I totally messed
I
it up.
almost like that even better.
Calm or clam, whatever you want. You guys pick one.
But be calm, find the heavy metals, remove
And
them
let's
from
get
your
the
life.
clamminess out of your life.
I love that. Okay, so aluminum, guys, is the one you're using every day. Where? Where are all of you using aluminum almost every single day? Right? We've got aluminum foil, but yeah, and that can cause
Not
some
used
issues,
every day,
but not
typically.
used every day, right? Deodorant. The answer is deodorant, guys. Who here is applying an aluminum-based deodorant on your body every day?
Listen, I used to do it daily. You know, I thought the heavily antiperspirant, anti-deodorant, Axe body sprays. My God, when I was in college, I'm dating myself. And then Axe was everything.
Hey,
We
I
would
used
like,
it too.
we would cover our whole body with it. Old Spice, you know, if you wanted to smell like your grandpa, right? What are the others? Secret for women, Dove for women, right? And then here's the thing, guys. The aluminum is there because it is an antiperspirant. But, like you said, this accumulation effect. Okay, look, if I take a deodorant roll, and I've never used it before in my life, I'm 6 years old, and I do this for the first time, you're not going to shut your thyroid down. But from 6 to 40 daily, sometimes more than once a day, all that aluminum gets sucked into lymphatics. And does it ever come out?
No. Your body's got to try to detox from it. It can't. It's going to hang out there. Your
It's
body's gonna
it's a
process
heavy
it.
metal,
It's
so
gonna
it
stay.
sticks to your organ tissues, and one organ it goes after is your thyroid.
Yeah. And here's what's crazy, guys. You're putting the aluminum right in the armpit region because that's where we're perspiring from. But what's right there in the armpit region? All those lymph nodes.
Lymphatics. And guess what? They all go this way up into the clavicle to drain, and what sits right next to your clavicle? Your thyroid. So we know it's in your deodorants, but it's also found in pots and pans today, inexpensive ones. And watch this, all non-stick appliances. You got a waffle iron. You have a, I don't even make this stuff anymore. A griddle, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Where you can do like pancakes and stuff. You know, if you got anything that's like plug in, a Foreman grill, if they even still make those things, all that stuff is aluminum as a base. Baking sheets. So it's mostly the deodorants you use, the foil you wrap around your foods, and it's also in our baking products.
Yep, exactly.
Where do we get cadmium from? That's a big one.
Yeah, that is. So typically we see that in a couple, you know, in your household products, it's a little bit less common, but probably the big one is batteries.
Yes, and cigarette smoke. And
Which,
I hate to say this,
if you're still smoking in today's day and age,
yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. It's a dye that's often found in women's like makeup products. So the rouge, the blush, their lipstick, their mascara. If you're not using the black stuff, which is lead sometimes, but like, you know, today it's all popular to have like purple, blue, pink.
Right.
And like, you know, I don't know, anyway.
The lines that go out. I don't understand that.
So it's a pigment. And the thing with cadmium is the number one source is cigarette smoke. I mean, most people aren't chewing on batteries. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do, but cigarette smoke is the big one, guys.
Yep.
It's a heavy metal found in the processing of the tobacco leaf. And when you smoke that, you inhale the cadmium that goes straight into the lungs.
Yep.
So we have now lead. This is a big
Right.
issue. And look, you're going to think, I thought this was removed. I thought we got rid of all the lead. So how on earth could I get lead in my body?
Yeah. Yeah. Still in women's jewelry, just jewelry in general. But so for women that wear a lot of rings, jewelry, necklaces, when we run our heavy metal, right, panel, we see high levels of lead in them sometimes. Now, and the other place that we'll see it too is children's toys. So if you're a parent and you've got kids, there's a possibility that there's lead leaching out of the toys that
Especially
your kids
the
are playing
metal ones, right?
Yes.
So a lot of stuff has become plastic, but
which is better.
you know, when I was a kid,
with. Like the Tonka trucks.
oh my gosh, and like the
Or the-
Voltron, I mean, I'm dating myself again. Sorry.
You lost me there, sorry.
all the metal toys we used to play with. Today it's all plastic, and that's another issue. But you know, the thing with lead is, if you live in a house that's built before like 1960, 1970, there's a chance there's lead in pipes still.
Sure.
If you use any version of inexpensive, cheap jewelry, it could be in there. Women, the lipstick, the red tint, guess where it comes from? Lead. Also, if you have a tattoo and it's red, lead. So remember, red, lead, it rhymes. Easy to remember.
Yep.
And do these things come out? Look, some of these are stickier than others. I hate to say this. Aluminum is kind of like sticky, but not really sticky. You want to talk about the stickiest of all sticky metals? The ones that is the hardest to pull out is lead, because it goes after your bones, but also goes after your thyroid and your pancreas and your adrenal glands. Fatty tissues, organs are destroyed by metals.
Okay. And then last one, mercury. You guys have all heard of this before, right? Mercury is found in seafood, especially certain cheap seafoods. So make sure you're being real careful about, first of all, the quantity and then the quality of the seafood that you are choosing to eat.
And the size. The bigger the fish, the more mercury it has, because again, the accumulation effect.
That's
so
right.
Hopefully you're not eating shark, or you know, like swordfish, or what's the other big? Oh my God, the tuna that's in a steak that they use for sushi, or like the ahi tuna. Ugh. Have you ever seen one of these things? If not, go Google it. I mean, they can be like 8 feet tall.
Yep.
Now,
Massive.
there's a difference between a yellowfin tuna that would be like your tuna salad,
Yep.
real small fish, and a ahi tuna, which is like, you know, bigger than us.
Massive. Yep.
So just steer clear. If the fish is bigger than you, don't eat it. If it's half your size, don't eat it. You want them like, you know, no bigger than like the hand of your fist, you know, or like a sardine or an anchovy. Right?
And then
Small ones.
The other interesting place where we can find a lot of mercury is as a byproduct of coal power producing plants.
Yeah.
And so we are so lucky to have one, the Marshall Steam Station,
Right up the
in
street.
Mooresville, right north of Lake Norman, on Lake Norman, really. And
Leaching.
right, just leaching mercury. Now it's been interesting because that's been a source of controversy over the last, 5 to 10 years now. Right, I know there was some studies done, and there's like some higher incidences of specific cancer types.
What do you
that
know?
area.
Thyroid,
Thyroid's one, and then
ocular.
there's a really rare eye cancer that's also become an issue.
And what it is that we're just going to throw it out, okay? I did a report on this back, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. We know, they know, that the ash, it's not the coal plant itself, it's
Right.
the waste, the ash.
Yeah, the byproduct.
They have to put that stuff somewhere, so they have this massive reservoir. And unfortunately, it sits right next to the lake, and it cracked, like the reservoir, the barrier cracked, and so small amounts of that ash are leaking into the river, or the lake. But you know what? Like the guy in the beginning, okay, so we can repair it, and it's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars, or we can just pay the fine every year, which is like, I don't know, a couple thousand, $100,000. So I'm not going to name the names, but you know who owns that place. They've decided it's cheaper to pay the fine than it is to repair it. And that's where we sit today.
Wild.
Which means the Charlotte water has mercury in it, unfortunately. And I'm not trying to be a whistleblower. This has been known for years.
Yeah.
I mean, we even have hexavalent chromium in our water. You know what that is? Aaron Brockovich chemical.
That's right.
Like, everyone was freaking out about that thing when the movie came out. And oh, by the way, Charlotte water has hexavalent chromium, Aaron Brockovich, and mercury, which is why you have to filter your water with a whole house filter.
Yep.
Okay, we've got like 2 minutes before a commercial break. We only did one. We better speed this up. But here we go. Right now, guys, we have a free thyroid ebook. It has everything, all the metals, all the chemicals, all the pesticides, everything that causes thyroid disease, plus the ones we still have yet to discuss in our up and coming shows. And it's free right now. 704-906-2094. call or text with your name and email, you get the book for free. You get the up-and-coming June 18th webinar for free. There's no cost at all, but you just have to take an action. You know what? We've got like a minute and a half. We can do quite a bit in that. Here's the thing, guys. There is a known issue with your home products. And if you think about it like this, a lot of home products, like you said, the deodorants and things like that, they can have chemicals inside of them. But most of you don't realize your shampoo and your body lotion and your makeup and just your toothpaste. I mean, it can be the most toxic thing ever. We've already talked about the aluminums, but listen to this. Parabens, which are found in almost every major beauty product, methylparaben, polyparaben, isopropyl polyparaben, butylparaben, isopropyl butylparaben, blah, 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 blah. Parabens are disruptors. What they do is they interfere with your hormones. And here's the thing. They're used in beauty products because they offer like fragrance and they offer stability. They hold things together. But the sad reality is parabens have been linked to cancer and even to thyroid issues. So we need to remove parabens. We're going to go through these in a minute. We need to remove sulfates. Look, they don't just come in wine.
Right.
They're found in your beauty products. They can affect your thyroid. Propylene glycol, PEGs. This is a huge issue. This kind of byproduct of all the plastic crap we have today. Yep. The propylene glycols, and the big one that nobody talks about, diethylanolamine. I butchered it. Diethylanolamine, DEA. It is the new substitute for all the chemicals that we thought were bad because they get pulled. As soon as we find out something's bad, we pull it. But then what happens? They find another chemical. Look, mercury used to be in vaccines, so they started pulling it. What do they use now? Aluminum. It's ridiculous. So we'll be back in just a moment to finish this conversation about what's causing thyroid issues. Don't go away. It's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. We'll be right back.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind. How can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Hi, my name is Gary Greenfield with Greenfield Water Solutions, and I want to introduce you to our newest product, the MR500. It's a whole house structured water filter system. It's set up in an all stainless steel multi-round filter housing. It features inlet and outlet for the water, a bleeder valve for when you're changing out the filters to reduce pressure, And to remove the top for access to the filters, we simply open up the clamp, remove the top, and this plate here holds all the filters in place. Simple to remove. It comes out, and you can see what we have on the inside here. It's 5 Aquametics filters and a vortexing tube and a harmonizer. That's the whole system. This is designed to filter 5 gallons per minute, and all of the contaminants that it does remove are listed on the website, which is a very broad array of contaminants. These are the highest rated filters that I know of on the market that are filter cartridges. They can be changed out yearly, and of course the process is very simple. You won't have to hire a plumber to do a change out. And the filters are available from Greenfield Water Solutions. And if you want to know more about this, you can read about it on the product page or give us a call. Thanks for watching. That's it for now from Greenfield Water Solutions.
Would you like to experience a better night's sleep? Want to feel well rested and ready for your day? Discover an amazing solution with Celliant Sleep Recovery. Our Celliant Sleep Recovery products are made from a patented yarn embedded with a blend of 13 infrared active minerals. Celliant technology never washes out. The benefits will last for their entire lifespan. Minerals reflect the body's own energy by using Celliant infrared active technology, boosting your oxygen levels and improving circulation to reach REM sleep gracefully. Our customers love to comfortably sleep throughout the night because of Celliant. We've conducted 9 independent clinical studies by well-respected scientific institutions and universities that prove the many positive effects Celliant has on the body. Our technology is designed to help you achieve a refreshing sleep recovery. Experience the foundation your body deserves. Start waking up refreshed and always ready for the day ahead. It's time to achieve the best sleep of your life to unlock your hidden potential. Start experiencing a better night's sleep with our Celliant Sleep Recovery products today. Celliant. Recycle your body's energy.
To bring you the best natural wine the world has to offer, we've designed a fully curated membership program. Every selection you receive is different and unique. Every wine is picked by our wine team, lab tested for purity, and curated into a special box for your enjoyment. So how does the membership work? We offer 2 main options, a half case of 6 bottles or a full case of 12. You can request all reds, all whites, or a perfect split of both. Then you can set the frequency, monthly or every other month. We offer a similar simple membership for rosé and sparkling wines. After you choose these basic options, we'll do the rest. With every box we send you, we aim to present the greatest diversity of flavors, textures, and profiles. There's a healthy mix of the classics, but also rare varietals. We do this because natural wines taste different from their commercial counterparts. We want to share the best possible experience with you, so you can discover new wines you love. And you can always reorder a wine that took your heart, or ask us to avoid certain profiles. The best part is, you don't need any wine knowledge to fully enjoy these boxes. We curate our selections to be enjoyed without worry. Ultimately, this is Dry Farm Wines. We are so grateful to be able to share the power of natural wines with you.
Happy Saturday, good afternoon. Welcome back. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. I'm your co-host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, along with co-host, Dr. Chris Demczar.
Happy Saturday, guys.
And we are discussing this unconventional approach towards now the #1 most prescribed diagnostic condition that's wrong with people in the United States, thyroid disease. And it doesn't come in as that, okay? So most people say, I'm tired, I'm fatigued, those are the same things. I'm forgetful, my hair's thinning, my skin's, getting ashy, dry, crackly. I'm gaining weight even though I'm doing everything right. And, I just feel terrible. I feel like I'm sick all the time. And they'll go to their primary MD and he'll say, it could be your thyroid. And so very reassuring, they run 2 tests, TSH and T4, which is the gold medical standard. So listen, a lot of people say to us, well, I have all these symptoms and they did TSH and T4 and everything was fine. So there's 2 problems with the test. Okay, ready? Number 1, the ranges are way off balance. Okay, TSH should be no higher than 2.5. But medically, if you're at 3.0, they're like, you're fine. 4.0, you're fine. 4.48, you're fine. 4.5, we should watch it. 5, boom, diagnosis. Here's your thyroid medication. So a lot of the physicians don't understand the difference between diagnostic thyroid and pre-thyroid, where you can still have symptoms.
Yep.
And then, my God, even if you're lucky enough, T4 is an inactive hormone. Yes, it's made in the thyroid, but the majority of what it does is it goes into the liver and it's turned into the active T3. Now watch this. How many of you taking Synthroid have had tests for T3? Usually it's like next to 0.
Right.
And that's what you really want to measure because it tells the TSH what to do. So could you have a normal TSH, have normal T4, but have abnormal T3? Yes. And can that be missed by your doctor? Yes. And then watch this. If you're toxic with these things we've been discussing, the heavy metals, the beauty products, the agricultural products, the industrial products we're going to talk about, then your liver gets stressed out and you make another hormone that nobody talks about except for us, reverse T3. And that's why you're symptomatic, guys. Can you have normal TSH, normal T4, and high reverse T3? Yes.
Absolutely.
And then you get tired and you're fatigued and you're forgetful and you're gaining weight like crazy and your doctor says, we understand your thyroid looks fine, so it must be in your head. And then you get the other number 1 diagnosed medication, an antidepressant. So there is a way out, guys. And all during our show at the top of the hour, we are giving away an ebook. It's called Thyroid Heal Thyself. It literally contains everything you need, all the functional causes, what your doctor's not doing, how to fix this, and it's free. But you got to pick up the phone and take an action. 704-906-2094. This is the time to call and text because we're about to start the beauty products that are destroying your thyroid. And kind of, we get on a roll a little bit, and it is sort of our fault, but we don't want to forget about you. So 704-906-2094. Now, you should do it now. Call in now, text in now. The ebook is yours for free, and you get access at no cost to the webinar we're hosting on the 18th of this month. So, come on, it's super easy. Okay, so we talked about heavy metals, the clams or the calms, right? The cadmium, the lead, the aluminum and the mercury. Okay, so we got to get those out. And how do you get tested for those, by the way? Can I actually run a test to see how much mercury, cadmium, lead, and aluminum is in my body? Or do I have to just guess and think I have it?
Well, guessing would definitely be bad, right? But there's a really simple hair test that we offer here that you guys can do, and it's going to test for, yes, all of these heavy metals and others, and it's going to also test for certain minerals, certain trace minerals and other minerals that could be found in your body that could potentially be out of a certain specific range that could be leading to some of the health conditions that you guys are having.
And think about this. Most people know iodine is important for your thyroid.
Yep.
So, hey, Synthroid levothyroxine patients, have you had your iodine tested to see if it's high or low? Selenium is absolutely crucial for the production of the thyroid hormone. Have you had your selenium levels tested? There's so many. Strontium, molybdenum, boron, selenium. We already said that. Chromium. There's so many. What if it's just a deficiency? Or what if it's an excess? Too many metals.
Right.
So you got to become your own doctors, guys.
Yep.
That's why the webinar is so important. Okay, so we talked about the heavy metals. We briefly talked about the other things, the parabens, the sulfates, the propylene glycols, the DEAs. But can you kind of let's break these down. Where are they found? What do they do? Why are companies using them? And, guys, the only way to get this stuff out of you is to stop using these products.
Yeah, and Dr. Ernst, I know you already mentioned the parabens, right? Found in most skincare products, right? And there's a lot of different names for a lot of different, but they're going to say paraben in it somewhere. And just super important to know that an accumulation of these could lead to infertility, could lead to thyroid dysfunction, and a host of other things. in addition to leading to potentially cancer down the road. We can get into why that is in a minute.
And here's what's scary. They're in like hair gels.
Yeah.
And hairsprays.
Right.
And, toothpastes.
Yep.
My God.
Yep. Different
and even
different
deodorants
soaps.
and shampoos. And I'm telling you, like, there is a huge likelihood.
Right.
You go and you pick up your favorite whatever that you're putting on your body. If you see the word paraben in there, throw it away now.
You know what's interesting? In the last 100, I'm just going to say 100 years, and I know I'm naive to this, but how many products that used to be like a hard product has been turned into a gel for convenience?
Yeah.
But at the expense of the chemicals that had to go into it to make it a gel that then you're putting on your body.
So are you saying Wyatt Earp wasn't like, slicking his hair back? No. Okay, what's the other big one? This is huge, guys. Now, here's the thing with this one. I'm going to tease this. It has become so known how toxic it is. It's being removed.
Yep.
But yet they're replacing it with another toxin that's just as bad. But
Exactly.
this one's hard, right?
Yep.
Because there's so many different types of this.
So the big umbrella term would be sulfates, but you might see it as like an SLS, SLES. It could be they might show it as like a lauryl sulfate. So they'll use a lot of different terms to try to confuse you or say, hey, no, it's not just a sulfate. It's something else with it. So maybe you think it's good, even though we know it's not, right?
So basically, if it's sulfate, I mean, what if it says coconut sulfate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good, even though we know coconut's a great natural product. So, but this can lead to a lot of issues. Neurological issues like headache, nausea, dizziness. Do you really want to use a skincare product that could cause that, right? It could lead to a few other things like vomiting, diarrhea. So now we're getting into digestive and metabolic conditions that this could be caused by. And so in addition, it could also lead to cancer. And because of that,
it's particularly like endocrine-based cancers.
Yeah.
So hormone cancers. Think thyroid cancer.
right.
Think adrenal tumors.
Yep.
Pancreatic cancer.
So it's no wonder that this has been pulled out of a lot of products. But you know what they say, when they pull up a chemical from one product, they just over time find another chemical to just add right back in.
What would be, let's pretend I'm holding a product and it says, I don't see any sulfates.
Yep.
I see no SLS, no SLESs.
Yep.
But I do see this thing called DEA.
DEA,
Is that a problem?
right? And here, we'll try to pronounce it again, right? It's the diethanolamine. Diethanolamine. I think that's pretty close.
Diethanolamine
Yeah.
is how it's spelled, but it's definitely not that. So
Right. Okay, so
DEA.
Yep. And so DEA is the replacement for the sulfates. And on the surface, right, DEA is actually quite harmless. There's really nothing wrong with it. But the issue, right, and this is where we talk about the accumulation factor, and the accumulation of this chemical, DEA, with other chemicals in your body is going to lead to a reaction that's going to create another chemical. And this is even harder to pronounce, guys. But nitrosodioethanolamine.
Or NDEA.
Yeah, the NDEA product. And NDEA, a byproduct of DEA, is very toxic to our bodies. It can lead to cancers, and it can disrupt your thyroid.
And listen, there's a group called the National Toxicological Program. They put out a report yearly on carcinogens. Bam, DEA is in there. So I don't know about you, but you have to understand, heavy metals that are found in the things you're using can disrupt your thyroid. All the chemicals found in your lotions and your shampoos and your soaps. The thing with the SLS is, if it suds, if it foams, like toothpaste gets all frothy, that's the SLS, but now it's the DEAs. Okay, so all this stuff that you wouldn't even think have anything to do with your thyroid are connected to your thyroid. How about these guys? These are extremely dangerous, and they've got connections between the kind of pegs that you've been consuming, and I say consume because it's an indirect consumption, and direct thyroid dysfunction. And can you explain what is a peg and what does the number mean? Like if I'm looking at the back of my toothpaste and it says peg 5 or peg 40 or peg 800, what are these things?
Yeah, so that's the quantity, that's the heaviness of the amount of PEGs that are used in that product. So it is a case where the bigger the number is, the more of the PEG product is in that product, or the more of the PEG chemical is in that product, and then the worse it is for you.
So it's actually, not to correct, but it is an inversion. It's how much it weighs.
Yeah, the heaviness.
The heaviness of it. But here's where it gets weird. It's really hard to absorb something heavy through your skin. Super easy, though, to absorb something super light. So the lower the number, the worse they are. If you had a PEG 1500, which they wouldn't use in a beauty product because it's so heavy, like that, the PEG 1500 is for industrial chemical engineering. okay?
Yep.
But a PEG 80 and a PEG 10 and a PEG 4, you'll see these things all over the place.
Right.
And what's crazy is sometimes it just says PEG and it doesn't give you the number. So you have to contact the manufacturer. But here's the secret, guys. PEGs are ultra dangerous for your thyroid, for your hormones, for your body, and we don't want them at all. So what would be a solution? Like where could they go if they're looking for like things that are free of, I'll call it, all these chemicals?
Yeah.
Okay, there's two big companies that we don't look, we get no endorsements. We're not getting paid to say this.
None.
I know you use them, I use them,
Yep.
and we share because we want you guys healthy and happy and whole.
right.
So what are the two companies that we would maybe look for to see if we could get some cleaner products?
Yeah. Well, one of them that you guys can go ahead and use is Giovanni Cosmetics, right? They offer basically a line of most of the, chemical-free products that are going to be amazing and it's going to help you feel amazing, and all that sluggishness, that tiredness, all those symptoms you may think you're feeling where you're like, wow, what is wrong with me on a day-to-day basis? Hey, maybe it's just the heavy metals that you're using
And listen,
all
they're
these chemicals.
Giovanni is an organic hair care product.
Yep.
So they have the conditioners and the mousse and the sprays and the gels. What about though, like my bath soaps and my deodorants and all the lotions I use? What's a great company for that?
Yeah, so it's called Alafia.
Yeah.
And they have an amazing line of soaps. Now, here's something interesting. This is like a mom and pop store product, but I have a source that makes all fair trade organic ingredients and makes a soap using human breast milk, which
Oh
has
my
been
God, that would be
amazing.
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Like absolutely.
My
I know it
skin
sounds
is
weird,
amazing.
doesn't it?
It does.
But look,
It does.
they make milk with dairy-based products. Think of like Dove is like, we put heavy cream into our, blue for moisturizing.
Yep.
So look, there's all kinds of stuff that's really, really good for you.
Yep.
And I'm pausing because our camera just freaked out. Then we're back. Okay. So how can they get connected with either that group or you guys just go online? Look, go to our website. We have all kinds of stuff available for you on the website.
That's right.
So is there a name? Is there a connection? I'd like to get some breast milk soap. I don't know about you guys, but where do we go?
You know what? I don't even know the name of this person. You'd have to get in touch with my wife, right? She is the master of all things in communication.
You get in touch with him.
That's right.
He'll get in touch with his wife. Actually, now you know what it is? We're going to put it in the comments below when we figure out exactly what it is. But that'll be after the show because we don't want to disrupt her while we're here today on Saturday.
Right. Good question, though.
Yeah, so we have heavy metals we got to get rid of. We have all the what I'll call chemicals that are found in our beauty care products, etc.
Yes.
Then we have the big one. Nobody talks about this.
I know.
And it's what?
Yep, the agricultural agents, guys. And nobody talks about it, but almost everybody uses it. How many of you are putting some sort of herbicide or pesticide or glyphosate, Roundup down on your lawn?
Yard.
In your yards?
On the driveway. My God.
Yep.
I saw my neighbor the other day. I guess there was like dandelions popping up. And he's out there.
Yep.
No gloves, no respirator, had sandals on.
And you know what's funny about this is you see these Roundup applicators that have at the end of the wand, and at the end of the wand they've got the little, it's like the reverse umbrella. It's like a cone that basically is supposed to say, oh, you're only going to just spray on this one weed, so it's not going to spread.
Yep.
Guys, what do you think that glyphosate is doing once it goes down into the soil? It's still
Getting
going
into
into
the
the water
rainwater,
systems. Yeah.
Still dripping through.
It's the most useless.
How about all the people who turn on their sprinklers and all that runoff that happens?
Exactly.
And here's what we know. Look, this stuff is so dangerous and so toxic, and it's unfortunately in everything now. There are studies showing wine has it, beer has it, water has it, rain has it, clouds have it. So if you think like, oh, I'm totally protected, I buy all organic, be careful. You're showering in water unless you have the right filters that have this stuff in it. And what does it do? Like, what's the most dangerous thing about these agricultural pesticide herbicides?
Right. Well, and so the question is, right, how do these agricultural pesticides and herbicides, how do they affect your thyroid? How do they lead to thyroid dysfunction? The answer is with iodine. It disrupts the ability for the uptake of iodine in the thyroid. So the thyroid needs iodine to be able to produce those hormones, right? T4, T3. If you don't have the iodine, then you're not going to be able. If the iodine can't attach and go into the thyroid, then you won't have that mechanism to work.
And here's a fun fact. The number 4 tells you how many iodines. 3 is 3 iodines. Heaven forbid someone talk about T2 or T1. They do exist, but they're precursors.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you block the iodine, let me just ask you a real quick question. Okay, so I don't have a lot of T4 on my labs. My TSH is high. I will be prescribed Synthroid, Levothyroxine, Armothroid, Natrethroid, but are you saying that the reason I could be not producing it is because it's being blocked?
That's right. Could have nothing to do.
Pesticide
Yeah.
that I might be spraying in my yard
That's right. So can you guys
and
see?
drinking?
It's less to do about just the absolute protein, the absolute hormone, the absolute value, more to do with the pathway. You have to understand the pathway that's implicated here.
And here's the other thing. I know it blocks iodine, and that's the worst part. But did you know this? Even if somehow the iodine snaked its way through and you made a T4 molecule, the Roundup, the pesticides, the glyphosate, it blocks the transport of the T4 to your liver. There is something called a transport binding protein. We look for this in what's called the T3, T4 uptake. How much of the hormone binds to the carrier protein?
Yep.
If your uptake is low, we usually see that in people with high glyphosate toxicity. So again, could it be heavy metals? Mercury, lead, aluminum, cadmium, the calms or the clams? Yes. Could it be the beauty products we're using and the PEGs and the propylene glycol and the sulfates and the aluminum? Yes. Could it be the fact that even though I've been organic for 3 years, Dr. Ernst, like I eat clean, yeah, but you're 52. So what about all the other years?
That's right.
When you were eating glyphosate-based food products, drinking your Corona, I'm not supposed to say them, drinking your beers and your wines that are toxic, not because of the alcohol, but because of the pesticides and the herbicides in them.
Yep.
And listen, I don't know, we talked about this at the top of the hour. There is now a new diagnostic criteria, and this is an ICD10 code. What does that mean? Can you explain that?
Yeah.
What's ICD10?
That is a medical diagnosis. That means the medical system can punch that into their computer and say, we have diagnosed you with this, and then the insurance company can reimburse.
But it means they acknowledge the existence of
Yes.
it. If there's an ICD10 code, it exists medically because they can diagnose it. Now watch this. Thyroid disease induced by environmental toxins. TDIET. What? Wait a second. There's a diagnostic criteria, thyroid disease induced by environmental toxins, which says, among all heavy metal toxins, chronic toxicity with aluminum, lead, mercury can further damage, creating reactivity of antibodies to attack the thyroid. The process contributes to the development of what is known as AITD, autoimmune induced thyroid disease.
So, oh my gosh. You're saying that the medical system is actually admitting that there's an accumulation issue of all these bad things, right? The metals, the other bad chemicals that can lead to thyroid disease?
Yes.
Wow.
At least with that diagnosis. Now, here's the thing. That diagnosis is underused because what they do is they go hypothyroid,
Yep.
Graves, and rarely will you get the autoimmunity one, the Hashimoto's diagnosed.
But do you guys see the disconnect, right? So even though the medical system is saying, hey, we've got this ICD-10 code now, we're admitting that it exists, are they then taking the next step to actually test and figure out what needs to be done?
Well, here's the problem. And listen, okay, you and I know this. We've been working in this space for years.
Yep.
Go to your classic MD, schedule an exam, and say, can you test me for cadmium, mercury, aluminum, and I lost the other one. Cadmium, aluminum, lead, mercury. You know what they're going to say? Why? Well, I think I might have a thyroid issue. No. If you had those, you'd be dead. Because they believe metals are only toxic when they're in your blood. And there's truth to this. If you had all 4 of those metals in your blood, you would be dead.
Yeah.
They don't have a test to look for chronicity. And even if it did come back, watch this. I'm high in lead and I'm high in mercury. What's the solution? Is there a pill? Is there a chelator pill that they have? No. Now, only if you work with a special doctor would they say, well, we're going to do IV chelation, but the problem is you don't have it in your blood. So we're going to have to somehow get it out of you without getting it into you, which we don't understand how to do it. So guess what the easiest thing to do is? Let's just not test for it.
Right.
Now, but what about glyphosate? Oh my God. How would they pull it from you? There is no prescriptive anti-glyphosate drug.
Yeah.
So I hate to say this, I'm going to burst a global bubble. Why your doctor doesn't test you for these things is there's no medical treatment for them. And if they came back positive, as a physician, they would be responsible to tell you, number one, you're positive. But here's the other kicker. What do you do about it? What's the solution?
Yeah.
And if there's no prescriptive solution, there's no test.
Yep.
I hate to say it. No prescriptive solution, no test. We should make some sort of a meme about that.
I know we should. But here's the thing. If you're listening to all this and you're still skeptical, you're like, nah, this isn't a thing. I know my medical doctor's got my best interests at heart. Go to them if you know that you use some of if you've been exposed to some of these metals, if you are using some of these chemicals in your yard, if you're using certain beauty products, all these cosmetics that have all these bad ingredients in them, and you have any of the symptoms that relate to thyroid disorder, go to your medical doctor. Tell them, say, hey, I've got this thyroid disease induced by environmental toxins, or say I've got this autoimmune, thyroid disease for whatever reason, and see what they do.
I've got an idea. I saw a commercial that said I should ask my doctor if I have that. Remember how they're like, hey, ask your doctor if such and such drug is right for you. It should be like, hey, this is a public service announcement. We are letting you know that there is a new disease called thyroid disease induced by environmental toxins. You may have this. If you are cold, tired, fatigued, gaining weight, if your hair is falling out and you're brittle, you may have this. Go ask your doctor if you have thyroid disease induced environmental toxins.
Exactly.
Like, how cool would that be? And
You're
I
right.
guarantee you they're going to look at you like, what are your symptoms? You want Synthroid?
Yeah. No. Tell them you want to be tested for it, and
Now
say,
watch
what
this.
specific tests would you give me so we can figure this out?
And you're going to see them go, get out of here. Like, you got to get out. I don't have time for this. Now watch this, okay? We're going to do an entire series on thyroid because, look, we didn't even get through all of it. Did you know there are viruses and living parasites that can affect your thyroid functionality? You might have an enterovirus, which is a gut virus. You might have Epstein-Barr virus, which in fact almost all of the thyroid patients do.
Wait, so you're saying that your gut and your microbiome can affect your thyroid?
Yes, and we're going to go into that more next week. Now, how about this, right? As a chiropractor extraordinaire, can your nerves affect your thyroid functionality?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
could you be hypothyroid because you have a nerve issue in your neck?
Absolutely.
Oh, blows our minds.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're going to do a series leading up to the 18th on all the thyroid issues from the functional cause. But look, guys, it's the top of the hour. They're kicking us off. They're actually flagging us down saying, stop talking. So right now, 704-906-2094. That's the free ebook. That's the webinar series on thyroid. That's on June 18th. And remember, every Saturday at 3, we're going to come at you hot and heavy this month on thyroid. And if you have a topic you want us to talk about, just tell us. Let us know.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys every week. Again, 704-906-2094. Look at him waving. Shut up, Dr. Ernst. We're doing it anyway. All right, see you guys.
Have a blessed weekend,
Bye-bye.
everybody.